It is January 1939 and Germany marches to war. Germany has prepared its armed forces in great secret, its armored divisions, its cavalry divisions, airborne and U-boat fleet in anticipation for a great conflict that will right the wrongs of history. After the Great War, Germany was forced to pay reparations to France and to Britain. It had its territory annexed by Poland, by France, and Denmark as well, and now it is an opportunity for Germany to claw back those territories. Germany at the height of the Great War had occupied Belgium, occupied portions of France, and forced the great nation of Russia to defeat as well. And yet, despite all this, despite the height of military power, Germany was defeated and henceforth suffered massive economic hardship for the people. And it was defeated by the British Navy blockading German ports. Now Germany has a chance to retain that victory again, attain that strength again, and recover traditionally German-held territory in the form of East Prussia, Alsace, and Schleswig-Holstein as well. Germany has issued an ultimatum to Poland, but Poland has refused. They will not surrender Danzig to Germany, and so Germany must bear arms against Poland. And it knows that France and Britain will engage against Germany in conflict, so it must preemptively declare war on them as well. In light of all that, Germany has signed a treaty of non-aggression with the Union of Socialist Soviet Republics, and therefore they will have peace on our eastern frontier, allowing Germany a free hand to deal with France as well as Poland as well, and hopefully Britain in some sense too. It's a treaty of mutual benefit called the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. We have signed it. There's economic benefit where Germany will send technological expertise to Russia, and Russia instead will send foodstuffs and grains and such to Germany as well to benefit them as well. So we have signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Poland has refused our ultimatum. Denmark is refusing to surrender Schleswig-Holstein. We must go to war. Welcome all to Global War 1936, version 4. We are playing as the Germans in Operation Dark Horizons. Turn number 6.1. It's going to be a long turn. We are going to be doing our first turn of conflict, and it's going to use the Blitzkrieg special ability, so it means that's going to be at least an hour lengthy turn, at the very least, right? So it's going to be a long one. Yeah, so buckle up your Lederhausen. Let's get started. So, as you all know, I like to share a timestamp at the start. I will show you right here. It's 8:04 a.m. And I also like to save my tech dice for the end of the turn as opposed to the start, because it's kind of a critical dice roll, so it's worthwhile kind of waiting to last. 24 bucks to spend. I should say 24. On that total of 24, we are using 15 here, 6 here, 3 here. So we're getting 5 cavalry, submarine, 3 for an airborne, and we get a free blue division as well. So that takes us down to 0. Let's talk about combat moves. So for combat moves, let me take a quick study here of the map. I made a last minute change of what I wanted to do. Last minute change of what I wanted to do, and let's see if I carry through with it. So one of the things I wanted to do is send this torpedo boat destroyer while we're still at peace. 1, 2, 3 sea zones here to engage this torpedo boat destroyer in this sea zone. But I'm not sure if I can send 2 subs. I could move all my stuff, then declare war. I feel like I have to move and declare war just as I cross that last sea zone. So in that light, I might just wait with this one and just keep it there as a potential constant threat against the other forces out there. So Germany has a submarine here. It is not going to do anything this turn, I think anyways. Yeah, it's not going to do anything this turn. First combat move we have is from A49 to A48. We're sending a submarine to attack this convoy line. And over here in Sea Zone I-10, we're taking a battlecruiser off raider mode. And these 3 ships are going to go 3 sea zones to P63. The battlecruiser is technically moving in non-combat move, but I don't want to forget it, so these guys are coming here. These subs are raiding this convoy line in P63, so that's what's occurring there. So those are combat moves for those ships. Over here, we're sending this torpedo boat destroyer from Sea Zone A11 to engage those poles here, the torpedo boat destroyer here in A12. And not only that, we're sending our destroyer from way up north in A5 to that sea zone as well. 1, 2, 3 to engage them in A12. Also, a fighter from Western Germany is participating in that conflict. The Danes have refused our right to get Schleswig-Holstein back, and so we are sending 3 infantry and 1 airborne unit marching north into Denmark to engage them in conflict. We're also engaging the ship off the coast with our coastal defense ship and our coastal sub against their coastal sub, and a fighter is coming from Western Germany to engage them in conflict as well. In Western Poland, we're sending 3 infantry from Eastern Germany, and an anti-aircraft gun is coming in there as well. Boom. From Western Germany, we're sending a motorized hauling and artillery. And we are also sending a medium bomber and a tactical bomber. From Berlin, we are sending 2 cavalry divisions to Western Poland as well. Now we turn to Dolnolasca. We are sending in from Slovakia 2 infantry and 1 artillery. And we are sending a cavalry from Austria. And from Western Germany, a fighter to Dolnolasca as well. Now, the French also hold on to our territory in the form of Alsace, and it is time for us to take it back. So the units from Bavaria, all the units now sitting in Bavaria, move to Alsace-Lorraine. 3 infantry, 1 mountain infantry, 2 medium armor, 2 light, 2 mechanized, 2 cavalry from Berlin are going into that to Alsace-Lorraine as well as from West Germany. We are sending 3 medium armor, 2 light armor, 2 self-propelled artillery, and 2 mechanized coming into that territory of Alsace-Lorraine as well. We are also participating with the air transport, is sending an airdropping unit into Normandy. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. It's got 3 spaces left to move. And that takes care of all our conflict. Let's start with our convoy dice rolls and kind of do the less meaningful stuff and kind of build it to a crescendo. Reds are always going to be my attack dice. Red is fire, destruction, damage, aggression. Blue is water, peace, tranquil, life-giving. So I think they're fitting for those dice colors. The reason I say that is over here we have attack is blue and defend is red. You know, I find that kind of odd, but I think it's counterintuitive. But nonetheless, here we go. Let's roll for those dice. We're doing an East Africa or West Africa convoy line. We've maxed out that convoy with 3 damage. There we have it. And now we do our Timor Sea, which is against the Anzac. We have a maximum damage of 2 that we can do against them. And we don't succeed on that one. Let's see if the second dice succeeds. Okay, we succeed with 2 damage on that one. I don't know if you guys saw that clearly, but here it is. 2 dice damage. I'm always... Yeah, I need to be slower. 2 damage on that one. Okay, just so you guys know, if you're ever looking for... Let's see, where's the menu? Configuration, controls, I need to look for magnify, zoom in, magnify M. So if ever I hit M, that will allow me to take a zoom in closer look at some of these dice. So there we have it. All right, let's start with the first conflict. Let's start with this sea zone in A11. So I prepared some dice rolls over here. Yes. Yeah, okay, this is the right one. So coastal defense ship, coastal sub rather, is rolling the first strike, rolling at a 2. And we succeed. So no conflict continues after this. We have taken off the coastal defense ship. Boom, success. Next up we have this conflict here, which I have a destroyer. Okay, I moved these guys across. I wasn't sure about this conflict, so I made a last minute decision. And now this is in sea zone A12. We have a torpedo boat, destroyer, and fighter versus his torpedo boat destroyer. So we're rolling 3 dice. We should probably be able to win this one. Let's see if we can win it without any casualties. So that's a 2. So we've succeeded with something. And that's a 5. So he's failed at that one. So the Polish torpedo boat destroyer is gone. Boom. Next up, let's go like this. I like to mark these so I can see them from higher up in the air. This one skipped. Let's just flip that over so I don't get mixed up. Next up we have our Danish forces. So we have 4 infantry marching into Denmark versus his militia. So that's 4 of our dice at 2 versus his dice at 1. Let's see what the results are. We have 1 hit. On his side of things he has a 12, which is a miss. So we take off the Danish unit. Done. Next up we have our invasion into West Poland. So we have 3 of his infantry at 4, 1 cavalry at 2. I have these guys, 3 infantry and 1 motorized at 2, 1 infantry, 1 artillery at 3, 2 cavalry at 3. And this guy, purple dice, is at 7, tactical bomber and medium. You see what it is there. So first of all, we're going to roll artillery to try to get 1 hit off of them. Nope, missed. Okay, now we roll the rest of our dice. My suspicion is he's going to roll 2 hits on the first round. I think that would make sense. Let's see what our dice rolls are. So these darker ones. So we got 3 hits on the first round, looks like. Yep. And on his side, he's hit us once. So that's a 1 hit and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no tactical bomber hit. Yeah, that's it. So he has to take off his cavalry and 2 of his units here. And we have to take off 1 of our infantry as well. So that means 1 of our black dice is out. And he's left with only 1 unit left over. So yeah, because of 3. Okay, so let's roll round 2. Give these guys a shake. Let's see what the results are. 1 hit, that's all we need. And our aircraft hit 2 just as an overkill. We actually hit 3 hits total. Yeah, 3 hits total. 1, 2, 3. And his infantry missed, rolling a 9. So there we have it. We've succeeded in that conflict. Okay, moving on to our Dolnolasca territory. We have 2 of his infantry. But first we have a 1 first strike, rolling at a 3. Let's see what the results are. 2. So we succeeded in taking off one of his infantry. That's awesome, which means that one less dice to worry about. So on the defense, 1 dice. And on the offense, we have these dice here. Okay, let's see. His result is a 9. Our results are a 4 from the fighter, as you see here. And that's all we need. So 2 hits total, 4 from the fighter. Okay, so that is it for that conflict. We have relatively quickly taken them out of action. Excellent. Okay, let's take a moment and adjust the map before we move on to other portions of the world. I don't think we suffered any casualties thus far. We played it pretty cautiously. No, we suffered 1 casualty in West Poland. And that is it. So 1 casualty in West Poland, we can completely stomach that. These guys get taken off. The torpedo boat destroyer as well. We can take off 1 of our infantry here in West Poland. And we're going to take off his units as well. Okay, and that allows us to capture the territory. We'll adjust that in a moment. Now, what other conflicts do we have? I believe, yeah, this guy here. And now we look at the big one here in Alsace-Lorraine. Now, this one's a particularly painful one. He gets +3 defenses for his Maginot Line, so his infantry are rolling all the way up here at 7, and his fighters are, sorry, his fortified line gets first strike at 6 over here. So we get 2 first strikes, but that's it. We got ours at 3. So this is where first strike really matters, because every hit we make is worthwhile. We got 1 first strike, and he's hit us with one first strike as well. So that means 2 of us get hit, and we take off 1 of his units. So that means 1 of his guys here is gone, which is amazing. If we take off 1 of his, that's worth 7 essentially, 7 or less combat power. So that's great stuff. What else do we have? We have to take off 2 of our guys, so we're going to take off these 2 over here. Okay, I'm going to move these off the board. Let's roll 1 for defense at 7, and the remaining dice here. Oopsie daisy. Those are the remaining dice. So we'll probably win this one with 1, 2, 3 hits. So we'll bump this one up for now, and he's scored 1 hit on us. So that's a total of 4 hits on us. So particularly painful, but nonetheless worthwhile doing. So we're going to take off 1 of those guys, and let's take off 1. We're just going to go with the cheapest option. So we lost 4 guys in exchange for 2 French units as well. So that leaves us with a bit of units surviving into the subsequent round. And let's go take a look at the map and make our final adjustments as to what goes where. So we have captured this territory. Let's remove these units off the map. And oopsie daisy. Oh no! Okay, I have to rewind that. Okay, if you ever do something stupid like that, just hit this rewind button. I accidentally deleted it. I don't know how I managed to delete it, but I deleted the map underneath my board. Alright, well that's crazy. Yeah, but hopefully it all recovers in one piece. You see how everything else just fell to the ground. It's crazy. So, we're going to start flipping for our territories back once the map reloads, and we're going to put calculate our income increases before we move on to the second stage of combat. Yes, let's see if the map survives. All right, great stuff. So yeah, that's a little lesson to you guys as well. Don't do that. Everything else looks like it's updated to where it should be. So these guys are destroyed, and what we're going to do, we lost these units. Now I'm going to be extra cautious when it comes to the bottom. So we have 1 cavalry and 1 infantry, 1 mountain infantry surviving. These guys I'm going to place up here on this tile. All right. So let's go into the non-combat phase here for the first round, and let's see what we get from there. So the fighter is going to come down here. Those 2 fighters from A11 and A12 are going to land in Bavaria. We are going to put these guys in port. I think it's important to put our stuff in port. So we don't get damaged right off the hop. Now this port that they're going into is going to be all in Western Germany. I don't need to put my sub in that port because it's a submarine. It's out of range of any aircraft, so we're good on that department. But these 2 units are going to go into port here. What else do we got going on? So our seaplane is going to stay there. We're going to move this transport plane back to here, and all this equipment is going to come back. We're going to say it's about equidistance. We're going to land everything over here. All right, so that takes care of all our... We're going to rail this blue division down to Slovakia, and we're going to non-combat this blue division down to Bavaria as well. So that's what's occurring there. Okay, what else? We're going to non-combat this submarine in A34 to A32. Yep, that's the plan. To A32, and I believe that is it for non-combat. Let me just do a quick cruise around, double check. Yes, I believe that's it. All our aircraft seem to be accounted for. Okay, let's adjust the income. So we're up 2 spots. Sorry, that's not worth money. IPP rather. In Denmark, we capture a territory as well. Let's lock this stuff down. So that's $2 so far. And over here, we flip this token, making it up to 3, 4, $5 gained. Is that right? Yeah, $5 gained. Nope, sorry, make that $6. $6 gained as Germany. I feel like there's something early on in the game I should have done. All right, so there is 30 here. Let's share a quick timestamp. Beep-a-deep-a-dee. You may notice that the time does not quite equal out to the length of the video. I tend to speed up my videos by 10%, for those that are curious. All right. That takes care of the first combat round. Yeah, I find 10%. You know, odd thing is, too, is like if you have your video a little quicker, you actually come across as more capable or sophisticated in some sense. I'm not trying to say this to mean anything, but they do that with dances, like synchronized dances. The quicker you make, or, you know, to a certain point, you know, where a person doesn't keep an eye on it, but synchronized dances, they actually look more put together and organized, you know, the faster you put, if you put it up by 10%. Interesting fact. Okay, moving on to the second impulse stage. We are launching into our second impulse, and we are going to attack, Warsaw. I'm gonna, oopsie daisy. Gonna attack Warsaw, that is the plan. And anything that has unit distance to it, or everything is going to go in there. Anything that can, rather. There's no penalty for crossing rivers here. We're just going to simply go straight into that territory. So that's that. What else is happening? We are going to attack Switzerland with these units. This air transport sitting here is going to go 1, 2, pick up an airborne unit from Denmark and fly south and drop him off in Switzerland as well. We have this unit over here, Normandy, is going to come across to Picardia. Or Picardy. I always want to say Picardia, oddly enough. So, Picardy. Boom. And this blitzing force is going to blitz through southern France on its way to Aquitaine. Now, I should quickly state here that in regards to Aquitaine, so we can cross this border with a blitz because this fortification is not completed. If he had completed the fortification, my plans would have been, well, what I would have had to do is just wait probably another turn and take France in 2 turns, and that causes all kinds of problems, so I'm lucky to be able to hit this territory this turn. Okay, so that's what's going on there. These guys are going here. Yeah, so if I would have let's say gone into Bohemia and Slovakia a couple turns sooner, that might have given France enough money to complete this fortification. It would have been quite hard, and I think we'll see this as a standard play. It's one of the things I have observed too for French players. Even in version 3, this was slowly developing as the meta. Once you build another fortified line here, Germany is too weak to take it out in a single round. It can't do it. It just can't do it. So this will become the meta here, where you see France constantly just building 2 fortified lines here, building a bunch of troops, and it could theoretically survive a couple turns at the very least, at least 2 turns, So Germany has to decide, well, we can't use our blitzkrieg tactic because we can't blitz across this border, so they have to take care of France in at least 2 turns, something like that. So it's interesting, and that causes its own problems because you don't know if the Brits are going to land a bunch of land units here in Aquitaine as well, or how that will look. All right, moving on. So Warsaw, we arranged what's going into that territory. We don't need to worry about these guys. This here, we need to divvy up our air forces to see what we can do. And this is the problem, is we don't want to lose any air forces in attacking Warsaw against that fighter. We want to preserve them as much as possible for other things that we need. So let's calculate quickly what we have here. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19, 21, 22, 24, 28, 30. 30 versus his units, and he's got about 24 there as well. That's going to be a dicey one, and we'll lose a good few units. Is it worth sending our aircraft in there? Well, in theory, if we send 2 aircraft, that prevents us from... I think we have to send 2 fighters in there. As much as I don't want to, I think economically we would lose perhaps about the same amount if we don't go into Warsaw with our aircraft. I think it's a necessity at this point. I think we need to go there. As much as I don't want to, my hope is that he rolls a 0 or nothing on his fighter, and then we'd be able to grab that territory just like that. So that is the hope anyways. This is for the Swiss territory. Okay, so let's do our conflict. Starting with, let's say starting with Warsaw. That's the one I'm most tense about. So what do we have here? Okay, ignore this Polish infantry. Yeah, this one. It has the potential of really not being pleasant. Let's find a free square. I believe this one's free. Okay. Fighter, 6. 2 infantry at 5. This is what makes it hard, is because they are rolling quite high numbers. Polish cavalry at 2. Motorized is sitting here at 2. 2 infantry are up here at 3, with 1 down there. This cavalry anti-aircraft gun gets to roll a 3 as well. Artillery down here. More cavalry. More artillery. And 2 more infantry down below here. And the 2 fighters. Boom. Okay, so let's grab some dice. I couldn't set this one up beforehand just because the nature of the beast, you know, it's I didn't know what was going in, what would survive the first round of combat, so I had to just... Wrong one. Is that the wrong one? Oh, it's right here. I had to just guesstimate. Alright, so we're looking at, let's say, 2 purple dice for my fighters. And then let's say we have... Oopsie daisy, I just deleted that one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my... Oops. 5 for my units rolling at 3s, apart from the artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's roll this white dice. It's going to be for my anti-aircraft gun. And let's say the red dice. I usually like to do the red dice as first strike. So that's what I'll do there. Boom. Boom. And we have 4 dice for these black dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That should cover that. And on this side of things we have, let's say, these 2 dice at 5. This dice at 6. Let's say the orange at 3. And what color aren't we using? Okay, that should do what we need to do. Yep, that looks about right. Okay. Not yet. We need to roll these guys first. So, let's hope for 2 3s. Oh, nope. No luck there. Alright. Nothing for aircraft. Nothing at all for aircraft. Goodness gracious. This is horrendous. There's nothing at all here worth salvaging. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. No hits on the first round. That is incredibly bad. Let's see what he's got. He's going to get all kinds of stuff, isn't he? Well, at least his aircraft didn't hit. And let's see, his orange dice missed as well. So, amazingly, nobody hit on the first round of combat. Isn't that something? So I'm going to take off the white dice now. That doesn't really count. So that's good. Our aircraft will survive at the very least. But that was amusing. It looks horrible for the second round as well. Okay, on the plus side, his stuff also is missed on the first round of combat. You see that? It's absolutely horrendous. Just as a refresher. On our side of things, we could only hit at 2s here. So, surprisingly, the ones that did the damage are... the ones that did the damage are our lowest hitting units. Everything else missed. That's funny. Okay, so we're going to take off these guys. Oops, did I do that right? These dice, why are they there? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, I just... Oopsie daisy. Let's just delete these. I hope I didn't accidentally take a spot that wasn't supposed to be taken. I did. No, I didn't. It's good. I didn't. We're good, we're good, we're good. Alright, moving on. Yeah, I hope I didn't take a spot that I wasn't supposed to take. What is this battle here? This is Warsaw. What are these? Was this my guesstimate as what would go into Warsaw? I think so. Okay, so I just duplicated Warsaw twice. Looks like. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. That's not a big deal. I didn't realize I had it set up already. Okay, we're moving on to round 3. Yeah, round 3. And this is where victory is at hand. 1, 2 hits from him. And we need 3. So our red dice succeed. 1, 2. Our purple dice succeeds. 3. And that's all we need. 1 black dice succeeds and 1 green. So also one of these ones. So 3 more hits. Enough to take him out. And we take 2 hits, so we're going to take our 2 infantry hits. Not horrible losses for sure. So I'm kind of keeping a tally in this because I thought it'd be kind of fun for each conflict. Be like, all right, so in the Polish-German conflict, they lost this value of units to my value of units of whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? There it is. And that's it for that conflict. Okay, let's gather in some of these troops here. I'm really happy we didn't lose any aircraft. That was a crucial one. Now we only have a couple more conflicts to take care of. We have Switzerland as well as Aquitaine. So I'm going to place these here. Oh, I guess I didn't need to. All right, well, I'll just delete these then. Yeah, I think it's safe to delete them. And then just delete these two. All right. Fatigue is beginning to set in, and I'm parched. Too much talking. Oh, this fighter and these guys are all going here, if that wasn't obvious. Okay, so we've captured that territory. We will take care of the non-combat stuff in a little bit where we park our aircraft, but right now, yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, this conflict here, he has 3 at 5 and 1 at 2. So let's see if we could do that on a more quick level. 1. So that will be his 3 at 5. On our end of things, we're going to go 1, 2. So 1 at 2, 1 at 2, 1 at 2, and 1 at 2. Sorry, so 3 at 2 and 1 at 1. So let's take a look here. The white will be a 1. The white will be a 1, and these guys will be... What am I doing? I'm grabbing too much stuff. Okay, so how many did we say? 2 at 2? 1, 2, 3, because of the airborne gets on the first round as well. So let's give the airborne a pink color. And now we need our air forces, so that's 1 fighter, a medium bomber, and a tactical bomber. So here is going to be the fighter. Let's say the, I don't know, fighter. We've already got pink, medium bomber, and tactical. So purple fighter. I'm going to have to do this in order. So purple fighter, medium bomber, orange, and tactical light green. I'm going to go like that, because that will help me remember. Help me remember because medium bomber, tactical, something like that. That should do it. Okay, so our fighter hit, and that looks like that's the entire kit and caboodle. 1 hit. On their end of things, 1 hit. So that's not horrible. Not horrible at all. So we're going to have to take off 1 infantry, which will be this white one. Now, keep in mind, too, that one of our airborne units has now dropped down. So we are rolling at... Ooh, I should have really brought it in because I have such a disparate amount of different units. So there's mountain infantry, cavalry, both at 2s. Then we have this as the airborne, and we're saying these are their aircraft still from the second round. So airborne is now at 1. These 2 are at 2, and then 6, 7, 7. So if that makes sense. So we have 1 hit, 2 hits total. On their end of things, we have 2 hits as well. Boom, boom. So now we get into serious territory. We have to take off our airborne and 1 of our cavalry. Now on the plus side, they only have 1 mountain infantry left. Good. Okay, so round 3. This is the one where if I lose this one, then it's gonna... If he scores a hit, then I'm gonna have to lose... I have to make a hard choice, which I don't have to make a hard choice, but I would have had to decide if I was going to lose aircraft and not capture the capture the territory or not. So we've scored enough for victory. Yeah. So we've captured it, but we only have 1 unit left over. 1 of our value 3 units left over. So let's take off this guy, and this guy. And in exchange, there we have it. So again, I want to kind of keep these together. I think it's fun fun to measure what hit what. I don't know if I have time, but if I happen to have time, I might do something like that. So these guys go here. You know, I'm actually going to take off the mountain infantry as opposed to the cavalry. I know the one is more high value unit, but I don't suspect I'm going to be too much combats in the mountains anymore. Alright, so that takes care of that. A little more than I would have liked to lose, but nonetheless, good enough. We saved on Poland, so that's a plus side. Okay, one final conflict, and then we go into the non-combat phase. So that combat is set up, ready to go. I assumed I'd have everything surviving to the subsequent round. The only thing I've noticed here, I got these guys backwards. I put cavalry in there. Alright, so this is what's going in for attack. These militia come off the battleship. 6 at 4, 1 at 6, 5 at 6, the rest of them at 3s with 2 self-propelled artillery rolling first here. Let's see what the results are. Let's score at least a 1. 1 hit. Okay, that doesn't matter too much. He's just going to take off a militia. Not a big deal. He's not going to be too worried about that. Okay, next off we have... these. Alright, looking okay. Not great, but okay. Alright, on his end of things, we have 1 from the fighter, 1 from infantry. That's a 9, oddly enough, but that says a 9 right there. Can you see it? Okay, that doesn't show you 9, but it says 9 on the screen and a tiny little dot. So 3 hits on him. And now as I remove that one, this rolls over to a 1, but that doesn't count. So 3 hits. And on my end of things, I have 1, 2, 3. 3 hits as well. Not as good as I'd like. So, yeah, that's not ideal. Okay, so he takes off 1 militia and 2 of his infantry. And I have to take off 3 of mine, so I'm going to take off a mechanized, a light armor, and a non-mechanized. So not too bad, not too bad. Where's this? Yeah, there it is. So that means 3 of these dice are gone. And we get to roll again. And now we need to decide what he's... So his militia's gone. And also his... How much do he have? 4 left. Okay, so he should score 2 more hits here, which is going to start to hurt us quite badly. But luckily, I think we've got enough to take him out now. So he scored 1 for his aircraft and 1 for his ground forces. 1, 2. And on our end of things, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. That brings us up to 10. 10 hits. So we have to take off 2 hits. Alright, so what are we going to take off? I'm going to say 2 mechanized. 2 mechanized, and he has to take off... Did I say 7? He has to take off 7 hits. And with this maneuver here, we have captured France. Captured France, forced them to surrender. So all these units are gone. Alright. Boom. Okay, and we also have this stuff up here. So, France is encircled, or Paris is encircled, which means that Paris is defeated. That's great news for the German people. It was a quick action, and with less bloodshed than we'd anticipated, so that's quite fantastic news. I'm going to put these guys here. I don't know if I'll calculate them or not. I feel like that's slightly unfair to calculate them as combat. So let's start with non-combat, and let's kind of conclude that before anything else. So these 3 territories are occupied, but I'm not going to flip them just yet because we need to be able to calculate our income later on. Non-combat for the aircraft. This guy went 1, 2, 3. He's going to land back here. This fighter also came from here, 1, 2, 3, lands back there. Medium bomber and tactical bomber, same story, they land back here. This militia is going to come across to Berlin, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think we need to worry about that. He's going to stay there. And now over here, we're going to move these guys into the city. And I'm hesitant to flip that just yet because I don't want to forget. There we have it. Those guys go to the city. And these 2 fighters, they came from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose we can land them right here. That seems a good enough place. Alright, now these guys here, 2 of them non-combat south into Western Germany from Denmark. And from the militia coming from Western Germany is going to go to Berlin, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's conceivable that he uses his air troop to drop off troops in Berlin. It's conceivable that is the case, but hence the fighter there. Alright, so that takes care of that. I think all our non-combat are taken care of. So let's start to review, and we did this submarine here too. Good, 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 good. Okay, let's review the end of the French Republic. Where's it at? Rule 4. French surrender. We've met the conditions. We've surrounded Paris. I may non-combat move units into Paris itself. Alright. So, of the units that survive, all my tanks survived, a light armor survived, and my self-propelled artillery. So these guys are out. We will say that we're just going to move this token up here. So we can non-combat move to there. That's good. We're going to leave this guy. You know what? We're going to move him to Picardy, to Paris as well. I think that would be smart. So he moves into that area. What else do we got going on? Corsica and southern France get a German become Vichy, and a German roundel on all surrounding zones. So that's good. Let's just leave them like that for a second. I'm going to destroy this here. Flip this token. Copy, paste. Boom. That's that. All right, next up we take a look at roll for naval units. Place 3 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 fighter in southern Spain. France, rather. Spain. Let's pin this one down. Let's see what we get for naval units. Alright, so we've already prepared this stuff here. I have 2 battleships rolling these yellowish dice, and these 2 destroyers rolling the white ones. Anything from 1 to 6 is scuttle. Anything above that is a success on our end of, yeah, in one form or another. So let's take a quick roll here. Let's see what the results are. Okay, so we have 2 battleships, looks like. Let's double check here. 7 to 10. Vichy equivalent. Move to sea zone M1. Okay, so that means these two become, the 2 battleships become, the 2 battleships become controlled by Vichy France. That's pretty cool, but the transports are gone, so that's unfortunate. But 2 battleships, we won't turn up our noses at that. That's quite nice. Okay, next up we have these dice rolls here. You can just duplicate this. Yep, there we have it. And so that's the destroyers are orange, light cruiser is green, and torpedo boat destroyer is the final pink one. All right, this one has got some good stuff too for us. Let's double check here. So these aren't in 1 to 3 allies, 4 to 6 scuttled, 7 to 10 Vichy equivalent. So I think we get a lot of these units as well. 7 to 10 Vichy. So 7, 7, 7, 7, and 10. So we got destroyer, light cruiser, and torpedo boat destroyer. That's really good news for us. 2 of them are sunk though. Looks like Free France will not have much of a fleet to contend with. But we will have a smallish size Vichy fleet. I mean, small. 2 battleships. That's a very handsome fleet as well. I like that quite a bit. Okay, lastly we have 4 subs. Now the 4 subs are placed right here in the Red Sea. So again, maybe I'll just grab the whole thing. So keep in mind, high numbers are good for us. Low numbers are better for the Allies, the Entente Cordiale. Okay, 2 12s. That's really good. An 8, I believe that's Vichy as well, and a 2. So let's see. Vichy, a 2 is ally Vichy, and then the 12s are Japanese. So that means we get 1 Vichy fleet and 1 Vichy sub, 1 Free French sub, and then 2 of these become Japanese. And the Japanese player can choose to have these essentially teleported to Japanese home waters. But I'm sure he'll be tickled pink at the prospect of having a couple extra submarines immediately pop up in his home waters. That's quite lovely. So yeah, so far everything is looking up quite lovely for the forces of the Axis here. Now let's also roll for the ones in the construction queue. 1 to 7 Scuttled, 8 to 10 Vichy, 11 to 12 German equivalent. So we have 2 dice here. We need to roll. We have a battleship and a heavy cruiser. So let's say the battleship sticks with the color of yellow. And the heavy cruiser, I think, is a good red color. Okay, this one, we want them both 12. We need something for Germany. We want something for Germany. 10 and a 9. All right, well, what's that mean? 10 and a 9. Okay, Vichy. All right, well, you know, if you can't have it, you can't have it all our way, I guess. So this tells me, I think it's a decent chance at this point that the Allies will probably not declare war on Vichy state for a good long time, because this is a lot of ships just to hand over to Germany, right? So they're probably not going to do much with them. Unfortunately, I can't do much with them either. So in some sense, we've negated each other. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, so that will be interesting. Now, we will eventually still have to roll for territories after this point. I don't know why I'm doing this now. We'll do it a little later. Okay, rolling for territories. So I've color-coded some of the dice here. Let's just gather them up. I know it's somewhat anticlimactic to roll all the dice all together, but let's just do it because we are already using up a lot of time. There's a yellow dice here, a teal dice here, and then we have a maroon dice here. I should also say for the record that these 2 territories in French Guiana and up north here in Saint-Pierre Island flipped to becoming controlled by the Free French. Those are their free automatic territories they get. Okay, I like this colorful handful of dice. They're quite lovely. Okay, again, high numbers are good for us. Low numbers are bad. So this one's a 1. That's definitively those guys. 3, 8, 10, 11. So that looks like it's pretty good stuff. So this one, actually, let's do the Free French first. If memory serves, the red. Yeah, okay, all these are Free French, so it doesn't matter if they get messed up. So the red are all Free France. Free France. That's a nice little haul. The teal is in Syria. And then we have the yellow here. So that's interesting. That's pretty interesting. So they get, that would be worth three bucks right there. And that means all the remaining become controlled by the Vichy state. So I don't think that's worth anything over here. Let's double check on the pink, if I threw the pink in here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So that means this is Vichy, 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 Vichy. That means that Vichy, Vichy, or is that Japanese? Let me double check on that one. Adam talking will become Japanese possessed if a 7 to 12 is rolled. So not only have we benefited the great state of Japan with submarines, but they also do get the added extra bonus of having some French territory over here collected by them. That's pretty lovely for them. They will probably buy me a beer later on, I suspect, or at least send me a congratulatory message. I suspect that will be the case. Okay, where's the other 2 islands? Somewhere here. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. They'll be quite pleased by that. So that increases Japanese income by 2 bucks. Let's do that now. 1, 2. That increases, well, you know what, let's put Vichy on the board. You know, some people, what they do is they don't put Vichy on the board, which is fair. You know, I quite like that concept as well. I just think for thematic purposes, I'm going to keep doing it. So let's double check how much I have here. Nothing for this part of the world, I do believe. Yeah, no money here. No money to be had, unfortunately. And it's always written in the upper left. So we have 1, 2, 3 bucks. 3 bucks there. 3 bucks there. 4 bucks if you include that one. Just 4 bucks? Alright, well, we'll take that. Or am I forgetting something? 4 bucks. So 1. Yeah, that would be 4 bucks for me. For Vichy, rather. The great state of Vichy. Scale up. And now for Free French, they have 1 buck for Cameroon. 1 buck for Cameroon, 1 buck for Madagascar, and 1 buck for Syria. So not bad places to have, to be honest. You know, I quite like those territories myself. Especially Syria is quite lovely. It's kind of right in the, you know, Mediterranean, a little bit further away from the Italians in case they decide to go to war. So that's all right by me. So did I say 4 bucks for these guys? I believe so. Because they have, yeah, and $3 for these guys. Right, let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And where's the fourth one? 4, okay. And then 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's correct. All right, so that takes care of that business. I think we're pretty well close to the end stages now. A long turn, I know. Hopefully I've kept it with my amazing charismatic kind of personality. I've kept things very interesting for y'all. That'll be good. All right, so I think we are safe to start doing some rolls here for these guys and place unit stuff. So first we'll place units. These cavalry, the 5 cavalry, are going to all go to Bavaria. The airborne is going to go into Western Germany. Oopsie daisy. And then I have the submarine is going to start in this sea zone here. And then I have my Free French infantry starting in Berlin itself. So that's what's occurring there. Now I have 2 dice rolls. Oh yeah, you know one thing I forgot? I collect the $9 that France had in its treasury. So here we go. Maybe it's worthwhile quickly reviewing here. So we capture... Yeah, surrender to the conquering player. Vichy, other forces, no other forces there. We've rolled for that. Free French Navy, okay. Naval transport, good, 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 good. Become Free French. French units on maritime air patrol and in aligned major power land zones. So I think that's good. So the French do get their medium bomber up here. So that's quite lovely. And I believe that is it for our place unit phase. So $9 there. We still need to count up our own income. So we did those guys. So we've increased our income by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Paris. 6, 7. Okay. Calm down. 7. $7 of income increase. Does that sound about right? So we're looking at 37 at this point. So, if memory serves, 1, 2, 3, 4, memory serves. Oh yeah, and we get to also align one nation. Let us choose to align Hungary. So that is 2 infantry and a few fighters. Few, I say few, but I mean 1. There we go. And let's give it a German roundel as well. Okay, so let's increase our income by 2. 1, 2. I believe that's right. Yeah, I could double check later on just to make sure. Yeah, I'll double check later on, but it shouldn't be that much more than I started with. Yeah. All right, good stuff. So I think that about covers it. We need to roll our recruitment rolls here for these guys, wherever I put those dice. So the blue dice is going to be the French, and the pink is going to stand for the Republicans. So Republicans need a 6 or less, and the blue needed a 1 or less. So miss on those ones. Now we roll for our techs. So techs are listed here. Airborne Doctrine, Amphibious, Jet Fighters, Long Range. Let's roll them all at once. There's a possibility. There's a possibility. Oh, wow. I think we hit 4 for 4. 4 for 4. So we have our, this one. We get this one up, which is, I needed a 10. Yeah, I'll show you this little magnify feature there. 8, 7, 10, 10. So 7 we moved up. Those 2 we moved up to 1 space here as well. And we were trying to get Amphibious Doctrine, and we punch ourselves up on the board here as well. That rapidly changes our average stats here. We are at 13 successes to 10 failures. So that's really quite lovely. So yeah, we basically, everything that we strive for to get on the second tier has gone up to the second tier. This is why sometimes it's worthwhile showing the legitimacy of this. It's 8:55 a.m. So yeah, that's not too bad. We've managed to do some damage here, taking out the French, got a couple of Vichy battleships, 3 total Vichy battleships. We haven't lost too many units. Things look pretty peachy keen. I'm pretty happy with the stats of everything. If I get a chance later on, I will just do a coverage of how much we've lost so far, how much we've taken off the board for the enemy. That'll be kind of fun. It'll be kind of fun to see how things go. I think my Japanese player will be pretty satisfied with himself with 2 extra subs plus 2 extra bucks to spend. I think he'll be pretty content with that. So it's up to his choice if he wants to teleport these guys back home, or if he's content with putting some threats across the Japanese, across the convoy lines over here. So we're in a pretty happy position, I would say. This turn took long, and you know what? I want to thank my opponents there for giving me the grace to take a little bit longer for this turn. It is a bit of a heftier turn. I also had a pretty hectic week of work, so it was nice to take a little bit of time to do it. I'm not going to add much flares to this video because I want to post it out as soon as possible, so that is the case. Just for the record, we have signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, so that is signed, and everything else, I guess, is just as it is. So thank you all for watching. One last thing, I suppose, Denmark does probably hand over this territory to Britain, so let's leave that for them to sort out. Thank you all for watching, and the great German state has achieved all of its strategic goals. Thanks. Cheers!